One thing about the Met Gala, what you will learn, so you think you something when you get out there, everybody, oh, Dwayne. Yeah, let some bigger star walk past you, and you like, wait. Saturday Night Live, I was excited to go and just be in the audience and be like watching because I've watched this on TV. And so they asked me to be a part of monologue and, you know, try not to be that person to just say no when you're a little afraid of something, where you have a little fear. I was like, all right, I'll do it.
We're all human and that we all share similar stories, or we all kind of walk in the same walk.
Yeah.
It gives you what you need to push forward.
If I see people who I know I'm watching or I know I'm a fan of, or, you know, it's something they did that I'm gonna say something to them.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna get my moment with them. And that's it. Like, I ain't asking for no photos, I'm just this moment. Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Timeout. I'm your host, Dwyane Wade, and as always, I got to introduce the other host on the show. First and foremost, Wright, aka Free Wright. What's up with your boy?
What's up, fellas? Send it.
Send it. Next is Chris Johnson, aka Coach Johnson.
Coach's Corner. We're in the building.
Sorry.
And last but not least, Bob Metellus, aka Bob.
Just Bob.
Just Bob.
Just Bob.
Yes, sir.
Before we move on to one of our favorite segments, which would be the Free Wright segment, Bob, tell us what you got going on with your sleeves up like that.
We're trying to figure it out.
What look is that?
I just put my lotion on, right? Because, you know, my man, you always take care of me, I ain't gonna lie. Because, you know, remember last year with the wind down, we went black and white because of the Ashiness.
Facts. We had to go. We wound up going black and white last year with the wind down because Bob was so ashy in one of the episodes.
Bro, you know what it is? It's the melanin popping.
That's bad.
So we literally changed the show.
That's hilarious.
We went, and we like, you know what? We gonna stick with it.
You ain't a real homeboy if you sit next to your boy and he asks you he got a booger.
You know what? You're right about that.
Yeah.
You know, it ain't even about your homeboy. I'm sorry. If it's anybody I'm having a conversation with, if you have a little booger hanging out your nose, it's my job to be like, hey, yo, hit that.
Right there.
Because I'm going to keep looking at it. Whatever it is.
Whole conversation.
Whether your lips chapped, you got something in your eye or a boogie, I'm going to be like, you don't feel that?
I got a question there. What about people with bad breath?
Oh, man.
I
see you, my boy.
You gotta hold your breath the whole combo, so you're only hearing
Do you address
every couple
it?
sentences.
Nah, I feel like...
Why is having bad breath a sensitive subject?
It's just like being
Why is
musty.
it so sensitive?
It should not be
Sensitive for the person?
For the person. It's sensitive for the person that smells it.
Because usually they know.
Yeah,
But
they
the
definitely...
person
They
that
know, and it's
smells
in their
it,
head. They know.
Yeah, because I think you can smell your own breath.
And they probably can't do nothing about it.
Some
either.
people call it halitosis.
Yeah, no fact.
Because that's what it is. It's halitosis.
That shit coming from within.
Only halitosis? There's only one brand for hot breath?
Ain't no one brand, but if you got halitosis, your breath is bad.
So that shit coming from your inside.
it's coming from your inside. But why do we struggle telling people with bad breath
I don't
they got
Bad
breath?
breath?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough one right there.
Nah, I don't struggle with it.
You don't struggle? How would you tell somebody got bad breath?
Here's a gun, please.
Yeah.
Here's a
Oh,
Tic Tac.
you do it. You do.
I'll give them. I'll help them out. I'll give them a remedy for
Okay,
it.
so you'll take one, pow, and then you'll be like,
Here,
you
I
want
might not
one?
even take one. I'll give it.
And
If
then
I
one
only
day
got
don't
one,
take it.
if I only got one, I'm gonna say, please
What about
take
the
this.
people who don't take the mint? When you be like, hey, you want one of these? And they be like, no, I'm good. You be like,
No, you're not.
You're not good. You're not good. You are not good.
You're not good,
you
sir.
are not good.
You're
Bro,
not
listen,
good, sir.
I got a story about this. This shit is funny as hell. I was in high school, and we knew my homeboy shit was. I ain't gonna call his name. He might be watching the show. His breath smelled like ass.
Damn,
Bro, we got in this car,
Damn.
and back in the day, you know, you didn't have the electric joints.
Right.
You got this joint. He was like, Chris, ride with me. We gonna all go to the same place. I was like, okay. So I'm getting in this car. I'm like, I start looking at my shoes and shit. Yo, when I get in the car, bro, I start looking for the window rotor to roll it down. Why is it broke? I was looking for I was in the car like, I'm about to... right now.
Oh, my God.
Yo,
Yeah.
his breath smelled like, boy,
Boiled eggs.
That man breath was kicking like Van Damme.
boy, and I was trapped. And when I got out, my boy T was like, I knew it. I said, ooh.
Because you know what's so funny about that? Because you can know someone with bad breath and that's like party foul, but you can know somebody likes to fart that thinks it's funny, and you think that's funny.
Right.
And it's the same. It's all shit. But,
I think you're just burping out your ass.
right, but the thing is, if you fart, you be like, look at that. You know what I'm saying? But if you got bad breath, you're like, ooh, you might be sick.
It's coming from your
help for sure. I'm with you, Bob.
Bro, y'all wild, bro. You make me think about bad breath.
bro.
Boy, hot boxing somebody's breath is crazy.
Yo, that's insane.
Crazy.
That's crazy.
All right, so y'all going on the record to say that anybody who has anything going on, you will let them know.
Yes.
I try to.
If it's someone you're having conversation with and someone that you built some kind of chemistry, some kind of
If we have a
connection
if it's
to in that
more
moment.
I feel like you can connect through that. Cause I could look at you and be like,
Yeah,
I
you're
get
right.
it here now. Like,
You're right.
But what if they don't get it though? So you have to be like,
Yeah, then this has been notorious in their whole life.
you
Like,
know,
so
eye,
I'm used to
like
this.
you know, eye boogers. Like you see somebody, you like, and the nigga like, look at me. Like, nah, bro.
I just take myself.
I always check myself.
Always. That's Mando.
That's Mando, but
That's
some
Mando.
people don't have big old eye boogie. You like, bro, like you got something.
All right, man.
going
Listen,
on.
man. We gotta get to the show, man. We gotta get to the show.
You're right.
Let's get to our favorite segment, and it's the free write segment because we get free shit.
Yeah.
So we like the free write segment, man. First up, Dash. Can you bring that first gifts? Everybody, welcome Dash Wright to the show.
Nephew.
Sir, it's my protege right here. Thank you. Bring
Find your dad
kid to
camera
work.
right there. Say what's up.
Bring your kid to work day, man.
Bring your kid to work day.
I wanted to
Free
bless
Wright,
some
what
of
you got
my
for us?
guys. Some of my guys. I'm like, how do we have this segment and I don't bring nothing for the fellas? So we all know about, hometown favorites. So some samples that I've been working with, just trying to see what the vibe is. I got the little brown and cream.
Yeah, I like that
I
color.
like that.
Cream and red.
I got that one.
You know what I'm saying? And this is filthy, cream and black.
That's
So I wanted to
tough
bless
right
my
there.
guys. So, just pick what you want.
No,
I go for.
Okay, I got you, big dog.
That's how he pull his access card out. He did like this. Look.
Get what you like.
Look at the name.
Get what you like, man.
Bob, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. This
you
go
know
my
that cream
skin,
is
my
my-
skin tone in the summer.
Damn.
You got a
That
cream and black in
is-
there.
Boom!
Yeah, there you go.
Oh. What is it? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I like
Favorites.
that.
This got H up. This the initials of hometown.
Yeah, I like
favorite.
that. I like
I had
that.
to bless my
And
guys.
these are nice caps too. Okay.
Right.
Those good ones right there. That's
Yeah,
the
that's
good
the one
one.
you been at Bram. You get that little band. You on?
I like
Appreciate
this.
you, my boy.
Yeah,
We like
no
free
problem at
stuff.
all, man. I had to bless my guys.
Hometown
I thought my
favorites.
guy Ken Dog was gonna be here. I brought some for him, so he might miss out.
It's cold here.
That's nice. That's nice. All right, I got something in the free write segment right here,
Oh,
man.
yeah, what you got, my boy?
So I had a pretty big week. Going on when I just left you guys, and so I would like to Dash. Come on back out here, Dash. Can you pass one of these to each one of these individuals, please? So this is Intuition by Aramis. This
Thank you,
is
nephew.
I'm the face of
Thank you, son.
this new fragrance right here. Something I've been keeping a secret for a while.
Yeah.
It doesn't come out till August.
Okay.
So
Damn, so
We
we
keeping a
exclusive.
real secret because, bro, you know right now around here, Bob, you know we on our smell good. We in our smell good era.
Heck
And
yeah.
you kept a real good secret.
Bro.
That's crazy.
Yo,
Well,
how
that's
about,
dirty.
No,
Yeah.
here's
Didn't
the
y'all
thing.
go to the mall the other day?
Yes, no, but I knew about it by that point. But when he made the deal, he didn't say anything.
That's dirty, bro.
Bro,
Because you could have
I had to
included
tell
your
him something.
boys in the deal.
I had to tell him about himself.
I wanted
Not
to.
bad.
You wanna know what's funny? I
That's
seen
bad.
the IG and I'm like, damn, he ain't even say nothing about that. So good, yeah. I know I could tell you stuff and it won't get out. And it smells fire.
Fire,
It
right?
smells great.
So what I love about it, and you guys will get a chance to smell it, is like, it's so, we're all in this cologne world and we
Yeah.
love it. What I love about this is it's really fresh.
Right.
And when I
So
say in a
fresh.
sense, it's so fresh, but it's really light too.
Yes.
So also too, like I feel like throughout the day, like I'm okay with layering this again.
Yeah.
Because it's so light, it kind of like, maybe it's still on me, of course, but it fades from the like being what you smell right away.
Got it.
And so it was very important for me that the bottle looked good, that it was sexy,
important.
that it's something that when you put it on your counter, that it's like, like you want to go get the candle, you want to go get whatever comes out, because you're like, oh, this looks beautiful. I want this to sit on my
No
my
doubt.
counter. So in the top and all the color, from the blue to the gray to the black, it was very important for us that it had a certain look that said, Dwayne.
it's me.
This
Yeah,
is
that
me.
said me.
So what's the process, my guy? Like this is one thing I've never tapped into. I've done many of things. What was the process of one, getting something that you love and finding something that you knew that you and everybody else were like? What was the process with that?
I think a part of the process is just knowing what you like.
Right.
You know what I mean? From a sense standpoint. And so my communication with them when they reached out to me and we were talking about this was, what scents do you like? And
Okay.
one of my favorite scents is lavender.
Yeah.
Right away, I'm like, I like lavender. They're like, okay, give me some other scents. And so then I started giving them other scents. Another scent I said I like is leather.
Okay.
You know, just from my experience of going through the cologne journey. And so these were a couple scents that I played with. And from there, Aramis was one of the first brands of Estee Lauder in the fragrance space.
Yeah.
This was the first brand
This
of
was the
Estee
first
Lauder.
brand.
Yeah.
Back in, I don't want to get the year wrong, but let's say it was in the 50s.
wow.
Let's go back.
It's OG.
It's OG. So Aramis was
approve
the
that?
first fragrance that Estee Lauder launched back in the day. And it's kind of, obviously it had its moment, and then the moment kind of got a little dim. And now this is the relaunch and the rebrand. And so they nabbed me, they reached out to me to be the face of the relaunch and the rebrand of Aramis. And mine so happened to be Intuition.
Okay.
And Intuition, it speaks to my personality, it speaks to my character. It speaks to, kind of how I move through the world when it comes to my intuition and how I do things and why I do things. A lot of it is that. So it had a lot of meaning behind it when they nabbed me to be the face of this that I just fell in love with. They was able to capture the essence of who I am today and not necessarily focus on who I used to be.
Got it.
Right.
And I think
I
for
like
me,
that.
that was very, very important because I'm a 43-year-old grown-ass man now.
That's a fact.
Not a 21-year-old hooper no more. And so I feel like intuition is where I am today, where we are today.
Okay.
And so yeah, bro, it was a cool process.
It smells great.
Smooth.
Bro, it's so funny because, I've been on this fragrance journey hard.
Yeah, hard.
And I'm not an influencer yet like some of my guys that I follow, like Equality Fragrance and Stay Fresh, and those guys who they that's what they do. But when you did this and I was like, oof, and I started smelling it, and I was like, first I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of hating. Because you ain't telling me. I'm
I'm
like,
jealous.
bro,
I'm jealous right now.
bro, you know,
You know you
I
one
was
of the
like
first
that.
ones
I'm in
to
my
get,
feelings.
but you one of the first ones. I said this comes out in August. What month we in?
Okay, you good. We passed.
Yeah, I'm not tripping. I appreciate it. You're right.
Me and Bob,
This fire.
me and Bob,
But
we've been talking to him about this journey.
Bruh.
He didn't even tell you.
But the thing is,
no, he snuck that one in.
I do appreciate the chance that I had the opportunity to be there when you did take
Yes,
the
you
photos.
were there when I did the commercial.
Yes, I was. So I appreciate that. Shout out to BTS there, and it was so dope to see the team and just to watch you kind of because they put their foot in this.
This was a big
put their
budget.
foot
Like
in
this is one of I've done a
ain't
few
no-
things, and sometimes you go there, you like, okay, I'm here. Right. But then sometimes you go, they be like, oh, y'all.
Put their foot in this.
Yeah.
Y'all spent some money.
Okay.
This was a big budget. It made me feel really, really good because one, like I said, this was them coming to me after meeting them on I think I met one of the bosses, Art Basel, when we actually did our event, Verite.
Really?
Yeah.
That's when you first met
I
them?
think that's when I first personally met him. And
that's dope.
at the time, they had a whole plan of multiple people to launch Intuition and to relaunch Aramis in a sense. And then after meeting me, and even if this ain't true, this is my story. After meeting me, they was like, we got our face. We know who we wanted to be. And so we cut out any others that they thought would lead it. And it's just led by us.
Timing is everything, though.
To be the face of a big brand for fragrance, that's on some other.
I've been wanting to be
Bro,
the
that's
face of a
next
fragrance
level,
brand
bro.
for
It's
so
so good.
long,
That is
dog.
next level.
Yeah, you did
But
this
it's
thing,
good,
bro.
though. It's in. So for the men that are watching, I know you've already shot your commercial.
I did. I shot my commercial.
But we got to talk about the men that are our age that want to smell good for your lady.
Yeah.
You got to go get you some.
Oh, you're going to have to go get you some
Yeah.
intuition.
you got to go
The
get
bottle's
it.
a beautiful bottle.
Intuition.
Though.
It's a beautiful bottle,
Look like
bro. It's sexy,
fingerprints.
bro.
So all the men out there that are our age, rock with us.
You're right. Now, is this the only size bottle you coming out with?
Or
Or
little travel joints?
Yeah, you got travel joints too?
We don't have them yet. Like,
Okay.
you know, obviously this
You don't
is the
need,
beginning.
you don't need.
But like we're already talking about the next version, but we're already talking about like how do we expand on this? And so as you sit here and see these sitting next to our White Network candles, by the way, this smells very good.
Fire.
We're talking about scent. We're talking about taking the scent and now putting it into wax and putting it into the candle. And how do we grow this even more? And so by the time it come out in April, it'd be even more rollout of, you know, what we're gonna do, and then what'll be the next phase of it before we move on to hopefully year 2 of what will be, you know, the next smell of this intuition line.
Would you say this is signature scent worthy? I say so, but would you say this is signature scent worthy?
What I think it is from a standpoint of like ease and freshness, right? Like sometimes you put certain scents on, it's a little strong, it carries with you a little bit too long.
Yeah.
So from a standpoint of like, a lot of people like to layer. This is a great wear on your own, fresh, clean, but it's also a great layer because it doesn't fight against other cologne. It's not as loud. You're not putting loud on top of loud. You're putting fresh, clean on. So it blends very well. So I've worn it. Obviously, I wear it a lot by itself, but also layer it as well, and
Bob,
you get more flavors.
You taught me about layering, right? And so when you get that, you can have something on the outside with the clothes, and then right on your arm, you can have another different scent, which is like it's a bar.
For the grown-ups out there.
For the grown-ups.
For the grown men out there and the women.
You're right.
Yeah.
This is unisex right here. This smell. My wife has put this on and she like, oh. And this is what I did at the same time. So I knew I've been obviously working on this with the team and Estee Lauder. And I don't tell everybody everything that I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I didn't tell my wife that I was doing this at first. I just started wearing it just to see what she would say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Going to her bathroom, knowing I got it on. And so when she hit me a couple times with, what's that? What you wearing? I'm like,
Approved.
something I'm working on.
It's approved.
You know you like that.
It's approved.
You walk by somebody.
Something I'm working on.
You walk by somebody and they hit you with the,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you got a male or female?
The
August
best place to be.
2025, everybody. It will hit. It's going to be global. The campaign comes out. It's a pretty cool campaign. You know me, I like to take my shirt off, so
Oh my God.
this is right up my alley. You know what I'm saying? But I'm really excited about it. Not only being something that we can have in the States, but this is going to be a global release.
Okay.
And it's going to be in markets that we're not sitting in front of today. But you know, obviously, we want the Wide Network. We want the Timeout show to actually be into these markets.
Yeah, bro, we into
We're going to
this.
move into markets.
So are we the only group that got this, or did anybody else get this?
The only ones I've given it to.
Okay.
Okay, so you didn't share this anywhere when you was out. I'm just gonna say.
So let me tell you the truth. So we launched it on with the announcement. The soft announcement was the same day as Met Gala. So on the 5th was a soft launch of this. We had a party with GQ that night as the official cologne sponsor of the GQ party at the end of the night. And they gave everybody an opportunity to get this. So some people at the party got it, but they gave me 5. No, I'm sorry, they gave me 6.
Ooh,
I kept 1.
of course.
Yep.
Kenny and Nato, who was there.
Yep.
Okay.
Shout out to Donato and Kenny. 2K, they took 1. So it was 3 left.
Ooh,
Uno, dos, tres.
Hey, listen, it's
That's all I give it out.
Hey, I appreciate it. I do appreciate it.
You know when people think about you and they bring you something,
Bro, feel
and
good.
it don't.
Feel good.
My bad, Dre and Chef. I get y'all.
Y'all on the
We
next
ain't forgot
round.
about the OGs. Don't do the OGs.
August 2025.
So look,
I'll share
go
my
around your
Matter
wife
of fact, I'll
tonight.
share
Go around
it.
go
Man.
around people, hit them with a little.
I love this.
Don't even tell them nothing about. Just hit them with it and see if they say, "What's that you wearing?"
Yeah.
See if they give you that look. You know what I
Give
mean?
some feedback.
If people understand, this is for fellas, the scent memory, which goes back to what you were talking about the halitosis, which is why that's strong. When something you remember his name, his full government name.
And I ain't spoken to him in 30 plus years, bro.
But the scent takes you places.
A scent will take you right back to a
Right when you-
location, a
right.
place, a moment.
So you can be, some people love the word, put their effort in like how they dress and all the bunch, and which is all fine and dandy. But someone will remember what you smell like when you walk by. They're gonna be like, damn, so-and-so smells good every time I see them.
That's funny you said that because when I sprayed this, the first thing that came to mind was Cool Water from back in the day.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Moms used to buy it from the vendor that used to be on the street walking up. He used to have cologne and the incense.
True story?
Yeah, so that's funny you said that because as soon as I smell, so ooh, that's that cool water.
Yeah.
Cool water
It's
cologne.
giving me
Yeah,
that
that cool-
same type of vibe.
Yeah.
So
Right.
this,
So
this is
when they
fire.
asked me about my cologne journey, the first cologne I talk about is Cool Water.
Cool Water.
Really?
Because that was the first cologne that I had.
Wasn't that in a song?
That's
He said, I
crazy.
gotta get my fresh death and I'm clean to the. I
Fly
gotta grab.
fresh to death.
I gotta
What?
get my
Which
Cool
one?
Water cologne.
Right.
He was rapping
Sure.
about it. It was
Cool.
a rapper, old school.
Oh, well, Cool Water was.
Yeah.
Listen,
Cool
I know
Water.
where I'm from. That's all we had.
Cool
I
Water,
think it came.
baby.
It probably came free too. We probably had a couple of them little free little samples.
You already know.
Yeah.
Already know.
Yeah,
But
man.
that's
Shout out
dope,
to the
man.
cologne,
Shout
man. Shout
out,
out to the
man.
fragrance.
Shout out.
We in this world now, brother. So you know what I mean.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We hopefully we
Thank
get
you,
more
man.
more things to be able to present on the free right.
Yeah, man.
Thank
Congrats,
you.
bro.
Thank
So you met like so you was having a time in New York. I see.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, had a time. Had a
Yeah,
time.
Time was
obviously,
had.
Had a
he
time.
threw a party. He threw that out there. So
No.
no.
We
He
were
threw a
there.
party. We wasn't
No.
invited to. Did you get an invite?
GQ.
Did you get an invite?
Nah.
Because I went
Slip
to a
that in.
GQ party with him,
slip
and
that
I
in.
was invited by him.
This is a Met Gala GQ
Okay.
invite.
Oh.
So you had to have a ticket to the Met Gala to go to your party.
Yeah, you had to be a part of the Met Gala.
Did Drake say something about
Drake
the
said
Met?
that.
He's like, I
I'm
don't go to
not-
the Met because they only offer 2 tickets.
Yeah, and he got too many people with it.
Yeah.
So I guess, well, you know
guess-
what? I got this cologne.
I feel better now that I have a
feel a
ticket to
little
the
bit
Met
better.
Gala.
Yeah, it's the
That's why we
Met
didn't go
Gala.
to the
But
GQ.
dog, you've been doing this Met, dog. You've been doing this Met thing
Yeah, bro.
nice. Like, what is that like for those? What is it for those who don't even know what the Met? Because all I know is people dress up.
Yeah.
You're right.
Is that what
That's
it's?
one of the most important things to know.
Yeah, right. But it's like a
money's
big thing.
raised. Money's
Right.
raised.
For what?
Money's raised for a charity of some sort.
Okay.
It doesn't come to me, so I don't know. But you know, obviously, it's a lot of talk about how much each ticket costs, like per
heard.
seat or per table. So roughly, some people say it's about $75,000 per seat, $300,000 roughly per table. So these brands, we have a brands, and then you have some individuals as well that buys these tables. And so I was my wife and I this year we went with Prada.
Okay.
And so Prada, they bring their, they kind of pick, I think it's about 6 to 8 people that they normally pick to be their Prada
wow.
individuals that go to the Met with them, that sit with them at the table. Sometimes Miss Prada's there, and there's other, high people in Prada that will be sitting at the table, and then you will have everybody around you. And so this year, Bad Bunny was with Prada. Bad Bunny was sitting at the table.
He was
with us.
cold too.
Bad Bunny was cold.
Yeah.
Speaking of
I
that,
ain't get to
one
see
thing about
much.
the Met Gala, which you will learn, I might have said this before somewhere, is this is one of the events I go to where you understand pecking order,
Yeah, for sure.
quick, fast, in a hurry.
I bet you do.
Listen, you think you something when you get out there, everybody, oh, Dwayne. Yeah, let some bigger star walk past you, and you like, oh, my bad, I gotta wait in line? Oh, okay. So somebody, you could be ready to go on the carpet. It'd be almost your time, and it'd be like, Bad Bunny coming. You'd be like, oh, you'll wait.
For sure.
You gotta wait.
We'll wait.
This year when I was in the Met Gala, obviously this year it was a lot about the black culture. They talked about dandyism and dandy and what does that mean, and superfine tailoring, and it was a moment for the black culture when it comes to a big fashion moment. There's always gonna be things you could say good or bad about something, but that's how we do. Like, we want the love, we want the respect, but then too, like, when we get it, it's like, well, y'all didn't do this, y'all didn't do that.
Right.
So I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of talk about what someone did or didn't do. But what I loved about it is just being a kid. Like, I was a kid from the inner city of Chicago in the Met Gala this year. One, because I got a chance to walk through the exhibit. So when you walk into the Met Gala, after you walk to the red carpet, blue carpet, green carpet, whatever the theme is on the carpet. After you do the carpet, it's one of the most exciting carpets that you would do. They're yelling at you, they're screaming at you, and it goes like this, right? And it's just lined up with photographers and media on both sides, just lined all the way up the stairs. And so once you do that, you go inside, and then there's some form of a performance inside, right? And then once you get to the performance, then now you go through, you got to go down and go through the exhibit. So the exhibit is whatever the theme is. And so this year was about black culture. And so you got to walk through the history of different designers, different things that was made at different times by us, in a sense. And so just walking through that was really cool. And from there, then you go to cocktail hour where you get to see everybody you get to run into people and be fans of people and talk or whatever. And so here go a bar for y'all. So I'm at cocktail hour. I'm a big fan of Secessions. Any one of you guys? What was one of your favorite characters?
Man, the young brother, the youngest son.
Yeah, okay.
The one that's like
All right, so Shiv is the daughter. Shiv is who I ran into at.
Shiv was there.
Shiv was there, and
Siobhan.
so I ran it. That's the character name. I'm sorry, Sarah. I think her name is Sarah. Shiv is there. I ran into her, but here go my flex for the Met Gala. And so I'm in the wine space, as you guys know. They pour a lot of different things at the Met Gala. The last 3 years, they've been pouring Wade cellars at the Met Gala.
That's a bar.
That's a bar.
Yeah, so it is. Thank you very
It's
much.
a humble brag.
So, it's a little humble brag.
Threw that out.
I don't know it's gonna
Real
happen.
quick.
Obviously, shout out to Sam. Kind of the Psalm of the night. He's a big fan of the Wade Cellars brand, and also too, like, we've done some business and things in New York together, and so he brings my wines every year. So I'm sitting there and I'm talking to Shiv and I'm having a conversation. I'm in a fan out mode, but I'm being cool. And then they walk up and they say, 3 by Wade, anyone? And I'm like,
Yeah, we here, baby.
Let me get
y'all drink wine? Y'all drink wine? Here goes some Chenin Blanc from my family's.
So you taking the is it a sommelier? What sommelier?
What's on?
Yeah, excuse me,
Sommelier.
I got this one.
No, that was when they was bringing it around.
Okay,
So like
got
when
it.
you're sitting there, they bring around champagne, they bring around water, they bring around wines, and then, so when he walked up, they said 3 by Wade, anyone? And I'm like, and I didn't know. This is like I just heard it in conversation, and I was like, what?
Excuse me.
What?
One moment, please.
Let me tell you more about my my wine brand.
That's dope.
So it was a real cool moment. And then from there, you go into the actual event, and you go into the actual dinner where everything takes place. And so it was just a real cool night. And I was just sitting there as a kid from the inner city of Chicago looking at a room full of stars.
Yeah.
It is really no room like this when it comes to stars from every different walk of life.
Yeah.
Right? Hollywood, entertainment, sports.
Yep.
People that you don't know that's real wealthy.
Yeah.
It's people from all walks of life that are.
In this room.
No, this is A-list.
Yeah, no doubt.
These are the A-listers. And so I'm sitting in this room, and this is my 6th time going to the Met Gala, and I've been multiple times. And sometimes I walk in there with my own, I'm here. This time I didn't walk with my chest poked out. I was just really like, in a humble space, understanding that, so many people that we stand on their shoulders of to be able to be here and do this, right? When you think about the culture and what dandyism was expressing, you got a chance to see our history. You got a chance to see the people who didn't get a chance to walk through the Met Galas and be a part of it, but they put on for us to be able to do this. And so it was a very humbling moment, but I was just sitting back looking, and I'm just like, look at this room full of stars.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And just watching everybody like mingle and vibe and chill and talk and be fans of each other. And I mean, pick one, they was there, right? Or they've been there.
Right.
And so really cool. Met Gala's a really cool moment.
Yeah, it's funny that you just said that because my question to you was going to be about you and Gab. I felt like y'all killed it. Y'all fits were dope.
Yeah.
I want to know definitely how does that go as far as coordinating the fits, how it's going to go?
Yeah.
Or is it something when you get there, this is what you're wearing? And I also want to know when you guys on the carpet and, you got everybody screaming your name, like what's the conversation between you and G? Is it like, we killing this shit? Because everybody was sending it to me like, yes, oh my God, couple goals. Look at them, they killed it. So what's the feeling, when you in that type of room and you fly,
Yeah.
you got your lady right there with you. So like, what was that like?
Yeah, well, I answered the second one first. When you fly, when you feel in your outfit, we all know.
Yeah.
When you feel in your outfit, when your hair on point, when everything hit right. And this one of those moments where you want everything to hit right.
Yeah.
When your wife or your significant other or whoever you with, and they looking like they straight out of, the magazine. You like, yeah, we here. Yeah, we here. You know what I mean? And you want to walk out there with that kind of persona too.
No
because
doubt.
when you hit that carpet, you got to be ready.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't many clicks.
Right.
And getting you up out of there because somebody else coming. And so it is a good feeling, man. And like I said, to be able to be there and you get to see everyone, man. You get to jump on the carpet or you're waiting to get on and then you're in the back with everybody. And now it's just like, yo! And now we fans. Like everybody there fanning out in a sense, but everyone there looks sharp and they look fire in their own right. And so it's just a real cool moment just to put on some nice clothes, man, and have people screaming your name and being able to take the photo. The process for us this year was the Prada team reached out to us before Thanksgiving of 2024 to invite us to the Met Gala with them. Normally, the invites come a little later.
Okay.
This year, it came very early, so we had a lot of time to prep what our outfit would be. So we both were going with Prada this year. Gab has her stylist, I have my stylist. We both have visions of, because of the theme, okay, what look we want to go with. So Jason and I get together. We'll start talking about the theme. We'll start talking about certain things. Jason will show me certain stuff. I'll be like, oh, I fucks with that. and then you send everything to Prada, and then they kind of like draw it up, right? And so you get many different drawings until you kind of pick your look. And then once they do that, after you get done seeing all the drawings, you don't see your outfit until you get to New York for Met Gala.
Wow.
So I don't get to see it. Like, I'll see it on paper, but I don't see it until I get there. And we have about 2 fittings that you got to do when you get there with the brand to get everything to fit right. And so this year was about fine tailoring, right? And so it really was about making sure that they hit everything perfect because the tailoring had to be so fine this year.
Right.
And so that's kind of like the process. You kind of go through that process. You have your vision, you send it over your stylist, you collaborate with them, and you send it to the brands, and you kind of see, for us, I'm sure everyone, there's levels to this shit.
For sure.
And so I didn't get the chance to see my actual picture of like what was my hero was my vest. You guys all seen I had the vest with the crystals on it. That was my hero moment right there, right, of my whole outfit. It kind of brought it to life. I didn't get a chance to see that until maybe the day before my fitting because I was like, I need to do my nails, bro. Let me see.
Right.
Can I see how I look? You know what I'm saying? Because I need to pick my colors. And so that's kind of like the journey and the process.
What about your watch? Tell me a little bit about that watch and what brand was that?
Well, Tiffany & Co.
Tiffany &
Shout
Co.
out to Tiffany & Co.
It was nasty.
I'm one of the ambassadors. Let me see.
Right.
My wife and I
Prada,
both are
Tiffany.
2 of the ambassadors of
That
Tiffany
watch
Co.
was cold. I don't know if y'all seen it.
The watch was cold, but the brooch. That's all for me. Like, as a guy, there's only so many things you can do. You hit him with an earring, you hit him with a chain if you able to see it. You hit him with a watch or a bracelet. But on the clothes, it's not really a lot you can do unless you layer them with chains or something. So you will see a lot of my looks where I have a nice Tiffany, like, clean brooch on. And that right there, like, it pops the outfit a little bit.
No doubt.
You know what I mean? And that's just sometimes be about 100,000, 200,000, 300. You don't know how much that you putting on because they take it right away. All this is getting taken back, by the way.
Oh, people didn't know that.
Oh, no. They come to get that.
Yeah,
Let me come
When
get
you
that.
get back to the hotel, they're like,
let me get that.
so
Can we get that
watch, earring, brooch. You know what I'm saying? From like big events. Now throughout the year, because I'm one of the ambassadors of Tiffany, I have a travel pouch of Tiffany jewelry that I can wear throughout the year.
Right.
But at events, they always give you stuff to wear.
And then take it back.
Oh, they taking that back right away. Yeah. And they took that vest back. Prada took that vest back too. But let's archive that.
I like
Archive
Is
that
that not a
vest.
Tiffany vest?
That was a Prada vest. But I'm saying the brand Prada took it back as well.
They took it back.
They took the look back as well.
Yeah, let me get, okay.
When you said be a fan, because a lot of people out there, this is just for us normal people.
Yeah.
They don't know that superstars and A-listers are fans of other people.
All right.
And they know how to conduct themselves in a way that make being a fan cool.
Yeah.
So a lot of times people don't understand how to be a cool fan.
Yeah, you're right.
If that makes sense.
No, you're right.
That's a great, whoa.
People like lose themselves real quick. You be like, I know you cooler than that, bro.
Come on now. Come on, bro.
That was dope. That was dope.
Because when you watch people that are A-listers have people that they're fans of, they're much cooler. And they don't force it. Whether it's a photo that happened or anything like that, it's more so like someone else saying, hey, can we get that photo?
Yeah.
Right.
Versus just enjoying the moment.
Enjoying the
Yeah,
moment.
because you was saying you were having a moment. You didn't say you was having a photo. So it's different. And so I kind of want people to understand that there's a difference between having a moment and being a fan because you want a photo to show people
that I was
there.
Yeah, it's really about the moment, because what a moment becomes a memory.
It's a memory.
And so you want that moment. When I did Today's Show with Jen and Friends, they showed me on the Met Gala carpet last year. And before you go to the carpet, they'd be like, is there anybody you want to see? You'd be like, just there to have a good time.
Right.
And then you see somebody that you didn't know you wanted to see. You'd be like, and so they showed me on the carpet last year when we were doing an interview when Ed Sheeran came up on the carpet. I'm a big fan of Ed's music. And I kind of I didn't expect to see him there. You don't know who's going to be at the Met Gala.
Right.
So I didn't expect to see him. And I kind of was just looking at him like, oh shit, that's Ed Sheeran. But I didn't want to say that. My wife put me on blast, and then I got a chance to have my moment. He's like, what up, bro?
Hey, what up, dog?
You know what I'm saying? But it really was a moment that got caught on camera or whatever the case may be. And I was able to kind of talk about it later. I got invited to his tour as well because of me being a fan. But yeah, man, you just go there and you just try to collect moments, because all these moments going to become memories eventually. You don't know if you're going to get that call every year to go to Met Gala. Nope. And so the fact that I've been able to go for 6 years, my first year was in 2015. In 2019 was with Kellyanne, my stylist from my Plan days, and then the last 4 years been with Jason Bolden as my stylist as well. And so it's been cool to kind of see my style grow, my confidence grow.
Right.
You know, you ask early, they asking us now around Thanksgiving, right? And so people are like, oh, we expect to see the Wades there. I'm like, oh, for real?
Yeah.
We didn't know we was expected to be there. This is cool.
Hey, Mark, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool,
That's,
bro.
man, that is dope. And I think you made a great point about just to enjoy the moment, because a lot of times you'll see. I remember Chris used to say this a lot when Chris was doing All Star. We'll go All Star, and Chris would talk to like the fans that would run up on him, right? But and the first thing they do is they come up with their phone
Right away.
take a selfie,
Right.
And he's
Seen
like,
what happened with DeMar. But go ahead, I'm
right,
sorry.
right. But he came, and Chris, and mind you, and he's trying to like shake his hand and like have a conversation with him. He's like, listen, you miss it. And he's telling him, look, I don't have that much time.
Right.
You're missing your moment to talk to me.
Social media has taken away from that.
Like we can have a conversation. I'm your fan. Like you're a fan of me.
Yeah.
We can have
People
a quick
literally walk up
conversation.
on you, like, I mean, obviously we talk about DeMar. People literally walk up on you without asking, without anything, right away. Like, yo, Dwade, what up? You like,
Yeah,
Exactly.
come on, bro.
Like, whoa.
I don't want that.
yeah, like, how you know I
can't do that.
Yeah.
So I appreciate the scene when you say like it's a cool fan.
It's cool to hear him
doubt.
Just
say
have a
he's
conversation
fan
with somebody. Like have a conversation with
of
you.
another, like someone that he looks and says, wow, I really admire their work.
Yeah.
And so
Oh, there's plenty of people in that room. You know
I
what
really
I mean? It's
admire
plenty
their
people.
work. So if I get a moment, I'm gonna go over and share a moment.
Yep.
Yeah.
But the moment don't always have to be a picture.
Not all the time.
Right.
It's also, too,
Or
learning
video,
how to
all
not be
that.
too cool in those rooms, too.
Yeah, that too.
I think we all think we're cool, right? And sometimes you can be too cool. And like for me, like I don't talk to everybody, but if I see people who I know I'm watching or I know I'm a fan of, or you know it's something they did that I'm gonna say something to them, and I'm gonna get my moment with them, and that's it. Like I ain't asked for no photos. I'm just this moment, and so you know I got a chance to get a couple moments.
That sound like a dope ass thing.
Let's talk about this footwork. It wasn't the traditional Chicago footwork.
Footwork.
Yeah, I seen you high. Talk a little bit about
my
that.
choreography. My choreography, man. Listen, Saturday Night Live, bro. Something that I've been wanting to do for a very, 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 very long time.
Okay.
But also too at the same time a little like scared to do it
Bro,
too.
man, I was pumped for you, bro.
Bro.
That shit, listen,
Now you got to be different.
man, you know, that show has broke a lot of people and made them into superstars. And so even when you're big in one area, to be on SNL, bro, for you, that's a whole nother audience.
It is.
Yeah, it's a whole nother
It's a
world.
whole nother world, bro. That's why I was like, man, just do whatever, bro.
Do what?
Do it all.
Do it all.
Were they funny? Were people funny?
Bro, it was great. It's happening in real time.
Yeah.
Right.
Like this is like obviously what everyone gets to see, they get to see it. It goes live in New York 11:30. And it goes live, but just the whole lead up to it, like you get to watch the rehearsals, right? I had to do 4 rehearsals on Saturday when I got there, just to make sure that I was good with the choreography. You know what I'm saying? I had to be in
That
step
ain't
with
Chicago,
everybody.
man.
Ain't no Chicago footwork.
But it's just cool, man. And I think a lot of it, you guys know, is a lot of this stuff is built on, your talent is one thing, but relationships is a whole nother thing. And, you know, shout out to Quinta Brunson, who had an opportunity to host for the second time, SNL, and she was doing a monologue. The monologue for a host is probably the most important part because you have some say-so in a monologue. Outside of that, the rest of it's like a movie. It's like scripts. You got to act them out. And so she reached out to my wife and asked, would I be okay being a part of the monologue? And we were going as guests of hers anyway to be able to watch Saturday Night Live. I was excited to go and just be in the audience and be like watching because I've watched this on TV my entire life. And so they asked me to be a part of the monologue and, you know, try not to be that person to just say no when you're a little afraid of something, where you have a little fear. I was like, all right, I'll do it. I didn't know I had to do 4 rehearsals before and get there at like 4 o'clock and stay to 1:30. Bro, I was there at 1:30.
So you do like shoot around, huh? You do like shoot around,
Bro,
huh?
I needed it, bro. I'm telling you, because once it went live, once we got to 11:30 and we were live, like it's live.
It's go
It's
time.
on now.
It's go time.
real.
It's real. And so it was really cool, man, to be able to just go on there and just be a part of a skit. You know what I'm saying? Be a part of a skit and like be able to bring, they didn't like produced me. Like, I got a chance to go out there and all the stuff y'all see me do, like walk up, like, I love being short. Like, that's just me trying to act.
Yeah, no doubt.
That was me. Like, when I was just like, I felt seen. Like, I don't know. I just felt like these emotions that was needed.
Yeah.
It felt so. I saw joy when I saw you on this. And I was like, this knowing you for long as I'm like, yo, he's happy. Like, you having fun, and it was just so cool. Like, just for you to just like when I was watching, I was like, I'm watching Dwade. Like, I'm watching you be you. I could tell you was not like it wasn't a lot of like that was you just being you.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't a lot of like just extra
No, I
stuff.
only had 30 seconds.
Bro, but but that's what acting really is, though, bro.
Yeah.
Is you being yourself within that character, bro. It's dope. You can't go wrong when you're yourself.
Yeah. No, that was one of the coolest experiences. I mean, I've had a lot of cool experiences, so it's hard because it changes a lot, but from a kid who always wanted to be on SNL or have an opportunity to be there to be able to jump on and also be able to be there with Quinta hosting as someone who's a family friend.
That's what's up.
You know, obviously a Black woman as well, kind of getting her opportunity to host and to ask me to be a part of it. So much love and just be able to see the behind the scenes of everything. You guys know we're building our own show, our own network, our own, and to be able to see how everything works and how everybody's working together and how it doesn't work without this person or this person, but everyone has a role. And like to be able to see them roles and see them like, you know, like to be there behind the scenes and see it. What we see is what goes on live at 11:30. Yeah. I got to see from 4 to 11 and just see kind of the madness of moving all the sets around and like they're going from this set to this set to this set to this set. And it's just a lot going on in there, man. It's crazy. So I got a chance to get like the real full experience and it was dope.
That's pretty cool, bro.
Yeah.
It's pretty dope.
You was in New York. This is all in New York. So you get the Met Gala, you got Saturday Night Live. And then you also saw you on a stage, a panel or something. I'm like, yo, this dude is working.
Yeah, we was working out there. Listen, what we do is we work. Just because I ain't here with y'all don't mean I ain't. Just like when y'all ain't here,
I'm like,
y'all
yo.
working.
Yeah.
No doubt.
But one thing that's been very important, and you and I started this kind of journey and conversation.
Yeah.
You have been a part of me starting this journey before my surgery and all that was when we started the yoga journey, right? When you called me to come to yoga. And then we started understanding like what that did for our mental and our physical, our souls. And so we started understanding like how important that was from a wellness standpoint. And so, you know, I've just been on this journey. I've been talking a lot about my health journey, which is all a part of the wellness journey. You know, I talk about therapy, I talk about meditation, I talk about long drives or whatever,
Sound
right?
baths.
Sound baths, like all these things as a part of wellness check. You guys know the show called Timeout. The first time we got introduced to Timeout was when we did our Timeout for our wellness event that happened last year. So I'm really like stepping into this wellness space. One, because, you know, obviously I had a health scare in 2023, but, you know, just being more open to talk about it is something that's a little taboo when it comes to men, especially when it comes to Black men. And so, you know me, man, I'm not afraid to speak out on something, especially if I'm experiencing it and I'm dealing with it and I'm going through it. And so I got an opportunity to go to New York Times, was doing their Well event. This was their first year doing it. And I got an opportunity to go on stage with Mark Lacey, who's a legend. He's a legend as a journalist. And just to sit there and have a conversation about my wellness journey, man. That's why I posted, I said, wellness check.
I love that.
Let's check in on our wellness. And so I got a chance to do that. And it was cool because it was a departure from the Saturday Night Live, the Met Galas and all that. Let's take it back to what's important for me really, really in life is this wellness journey that I'm on. And just to be able to be out there and share it with the live audience that was watching and the audience that was there was just really cool.
Yeah, I didn't know how important it was until you had your, timeout event, the retreat.
Yeah.
And I remember telling everybody where I was going. I was like, you going on a retreat? I'm like, yeah. And you're always scared to go to places for the first time. You just don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
And then you get there and there's a bunch of people just like you.
Just like you.
I mean, getting the opportunity to kind of express their self, what they went to, their story.
Yep.
And it's like, damn, I'm going through some similar shit like that too.
Yeah.
So it felt good for my first time to be able to be amongst so many successful men and, being able to sit in a circle and, really talk about things that's going on in day-to-day life and what we want to get better at and all the things around the sun that we did on that weekend, the golf, everything.
The golf, the yoga.
The yoga was one of my favorites.
Yoga was great.
That was my first time doing that too.
The room, that's different. Wellness is important though, and for people that don't know or need a community, that's what me and D talked about building. So when you guys see us, we're trying to build a community for men. You always talk about building community for women. No knock on women. But we as men, as fathers, husbands, uncles, sons, all of the roles that we have, you don't see a lot of communities built for us. And so what we're gonna do, as we've done with the Timeout, our show, all the brands that are watching, we are building community for men, and D being a spokesman, being able to share that in New York is amazing because that's what our journey is about.
No doubt.
You know, this is our chapter of our life,
Yeah.
and there's no way he's able to go to the Met Gala, do SNL, if his wellness is not in order.
Yeah.
Facts.
You
Big
can't
facts.
do that.
Can't
Your
do it.
energy
that.
level, you can't even take your shirt off.
If your wellness ain't right.
If your wellness not right,
yeah.
you,
You ain't
you
lying.
can't take your shirt off.
Yeah,
so
real talk.
let's encourage the men out there. Join us, go follow us, and let's build a community together. So when we do a Timeout, it may not just be our group, maybe it'll be a larger group that we can share and be able to keep building these communities around the country so that we can grow with other people.
Yeah, and
love
one of
that.
the most important thing you guys know, man, is exposure.
Yeah.
Is normalizing the conversation around wellness. I think sometimes when people hear a mental wellness, automatically it's like, well, I don't want to be associated with mental wellness because you think that means that I'm crazy or something,
Yes,
right?
yeah, yeah.
But it's so many different aspects of wellness, right? You got the mental, obviously you got the physical, and then you just heard me say soul wellness.
Soul.
Like, what about that soul? We, I just got a chance. Shout out to Jay Shetty, who invited my wife and I recently to his home to be able to get this incredible experience with so many others that we connected with. But a part of it was the experience, and something we learned was that our soul has fake egos. And so we start getting to how do you get rid of your fake ego so you can get to like your real self? Because we all got the personas, this facades that's our fake ego.
Yeah.
And a lot of times our fake ego is what fucks up relationships.
It is what, no, it's
a fake
not
ego.
sometimes.
Well, yeah.
It's all the time.
It's all the time. The fake egos fuck up the relationships.
They mess
right?
up not only just relationships, but it works with your employer, people that you work for. If you're an athlete and it's a coach, the only disagreements happen because of the ego.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you have to ego check yourself, and that's pretty dope because when the ego get in the way, you might as well leave a room because it's a lose-lose situation, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. You got to humble yourself.
Yeah, I mean, so we on the journey, and I appreciate you guys even coming to the wellness event because I'm sure when I sent it over, everybody was like, man, what? Okay, all right, what we gonna do?
That's what you'd be like, yo, bro, you going to this? Hey, you got this email? Are you going?
I asked a question at the wellness event for New York Times, and I asked any guys in here, any men in here have been to a wellness event. It was one man who raised his hand.
That's crazy.
That's why
One
we gonna
man
build
has
it.
raised his hand. Now, if I asked that question to women, I guarantee 75 to 80% of the room would have raised their hands. And so, just trying to normalize men getting together, men being okay with understanding that it's a safe space amongst each other, that it's okay to be vulnerable in those spaces. We all saw it in our wellness. When one person opened up, it was at a point where you was like, well, let me get up now. Because you felt safe in the environment with people with other men who are walking around going through similar journeys as you.
No doubt.
And you realize you have so much more in common no matter the age, no matter where you are financially, no matter where you are race-wise, gender, whatever the case may be, you find out you have so much in common. So wellness, man, wellness check is very, very important.
What I love about that is that from the wellness event, the community that you said you build, since that event, when I see some of the guys post, like, yo, what's up? And it's like, it's the funny, it was a 4-day event. And to this day, that connection.
Yeah.
We'll be there.
You good?
Like, you good?
We good.
We good.
Like that connection that to see somebody just that you
Shout out to
you give each other love, and I think that part is so critical and important.
Bro, when you think about,
So important.
if you think that you're on an island by yourself, you'll go crazy.
Yep.
But when you realize that we're all human and that we all share similar stories, or we all kind of walk in the same walk, it gives you what you need to push forward.
No doubt.
And so you need hope. You need something to make you feel like you can go to the next day. And so a lot of times people that are like isolated or feel like they only going through it by themselves, it's hard to get up and fight.
Yeah.
But when you turn and you got a brotherhood, of men looking at you like, what you gonna do? Let's go.
Right.
You gotta go.
Right.
And I think that's so important, and it helps us raise our kids.
No doubt.
Yeah, man.
I think one of the other dope things that, because this dude here's been like on a, I feel like he was like a all-star weekend, and it's just you just doing something every day. I'm like looking at checking my phone. Like, what do you do? So I see the announcement, Amazon Sports.
Oh yeah,
This dude this dude killing.
Yeah, that's gonna be next level. I love the lineup. I love that you and UD gonna be back talking y'all talk. Amazon definitely got this one right with the talent that they got. Stan Van Gundy, I believe, with Taylor Rooks.
Yeah, Taylor Rooks is in studio host. Yeah, Dirk is in studio.
Okay.
Steve Nash is Steve Nash as well. Blake Griffin.
Blake is on this.
Blake Griffin
is so good. I like Blake.
Ryan Eagle, Kevin Harlan,
Squad.
Stan Van Gundy, obviously. So, thank you, first of all. One of the things you did and I have always talked, we always talk about doing things together. When you want to do things with your brothers. We talk about, I only want to do things with people I fuck with.
Yep.
And so when this opportunity came for both of us to be able, UD's just got done doing TV the last couple of years with another network. I was on another network at one point, but we got the opportunity to kind of sit down and say, man, bro, like, you want to do this? I'm thinking about doing this. Let's do this together. And so for Amazon to understand that we wanted to work together, we wanted to be in the studio together. I'll be half in the studio of my deal, and then the other half I'll be doing games.
Okay.
So I kind of got a half and half. Some people are all studio. Some people may do more games. I don't know how the lineup is, but for me, because of my Olympics experience by doing games with Noah Eagle, half of my deal would be doing games, and then the other half would be here in LA, down in Culver City, in studio with UD, Taylor Rooks, and Candace Parker as well. Shout out to Candace. We get to rejoin back as teammates.
Yeah.
So they went and got a lot of people from different levels of the game of basketball, different knowledge of the game of basketball. And it's their first year, and I think for their first year they did a good job.
Great job.
Of putting together a pretty good roster. Now that roster got to flow together, get to know each other, and find that rhythm and flow, but I think Amazon did a great job. So it was a big week for me, dog.
Yeah.
A lot of things going on. Bro. A lot of things going on in the first week of May.
No doubt.
Yes, he was thinking, I thought you was retired. Nah, he ain't retired.
Hey, listen, one thing I can say, I work way harder now being retired than I did when I was hooping.
My boy?
I'd be like, dang, I'm sleepy. It's time to go to bed.
Yeah, bro.
Congratulations on that, man.
Thank you, bro.
Congrats.
I just kind of wrap it up, and I guess my last words, I appreciate y'all, talking about the things that I have going on, because, it's very important, man. When we retire from the game of basketball, we don't know what we're going to do. We don't have it figured out. And I'm sure most people that retires from any facet of life, it has a moment where you're scared and you're a little nervous about going into a different arena, in a sense, because if you master that arena you've been in, or you've been in that arena for a long time, you're comfortable there.
Right.
Now you got to step into this whole different world. And so, and I've stepped into a whole different chapter. I'm in chapter 3, not chapter 2. Chapter 2 was the NBA. I had a chapter before the NBA. This is my 3rd chapter. And in my 3rd chapter, man, I've been able to, not only be faces of brands, be able to be investors of NBA teams and WNBA teams and all the things. But really, man, it's just really not being afraid to do something that's a little bit unfamiliar. I don't want to say uncomfortable, because people are going to take that word and make something of it, but really unfamiliar, and really taking advantage of these small opportunities in front of you that would eventually become the big opportunity. And I think a lot of times we wait for that big opportunity to come for us, but you got to take these collections of small opportunities. So, because people watching you, people seeing what you're doing, and then eventually that big opportunity presents itself, and now you're ready for it because you've had reps and you've had practice. And so I've taken a lot of small opportunities that people have not seen to be able to get to these big opportunities where these big brands will nab me as somebody who can be a face of their brand. So take your opportunities, small, big, whatever. And just don't be afraid, man.
Yeah, don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to get outside your box and get a little, just do something a little different. And so that's what I've done, man. So I appreciate y'all highlighting some of the things that I've been working on and embarking on.
Sir.
It wasn't hard. It wasn't hard.
Yeah.
It wasn't hard.
So my brother D. Wright, Bob, Chris, I'm Dwade. Thank you guys for taking the time out and joining us today. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.